All right, let's get into it. Just to forecast a little bit for that one guy in the comments who complained about only wanting college hoops content. We got two college hoops topics today, and then we'll close with a not so secret topic that I might have given y'all a heads up probably 20 minutes before we started recording. But, staying in the college basketball landscape, I actually got this idea from a commenter on YouTube a few weeks ago. After y'all did your Big Ten title contending teams, where you can only select one player from a team and then a coach who doesn't have a team represented, I wanted to do that same exercise with the ACC. Someone suggested I do it, and I thought, hey, it's my return after a little 2-week hiatus. Why not get right into the conference I know best? So I'll turn it over to y'all first because I got my team made, but I want to hear which directions y'all go.
Greg, should we have our team be one?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this because I feel like last time it was kind of fun to do it all together. So if you already have your teammate, I feel like Cart and I should try to build ours and see how different it is from yours, if that works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess let's start with the non-negotiables here. And we have to, the weird thing is like with Duke and Carolina, they have so many good options between the two of them that I don't think there is a non-negotiable on either of them. So we probably want to start with like other teams that have a player we just feel we need on this and then fill in gaps with Duke and Carolina. How do you feel about that, Cart?
Yeah, I think, and this, like you said, I feel like there's a certain way you could go. Like you could go Mondo, and then I don't know, maybe get a guard from Duke, or go flip and take like RJ Davis. There's definitely some ways you could go with this. But
is there a player on either of those teams that you think is worth like not going that route and saying we need this guy?
Wait, say that again?
Is there a player on either of those teams that you think is worth not going the route we're talking about and just being like, we need to scoop this guy out? Because I think a lot of people nationally would say we need to get Tyrese Proctor, and you and I aren't on that train.
If we're getting anybody, I feel like we want to get Flip.
Or Baycott. I mean, so productive, right? I feel like I would bet Riley's team has Baycott and not RJ Davis.
I would too.
Do you think I don't want to know yet. I don't want to know to the end.
I won't spoil it.
What do you think we do, Cart? What should we do?
You decide.
Okay, I'm going through other teams. So like potential options, like Reese Beekman. Yeah. Miami, like, are we taking Nigel Pack from Miami? Are we taking Norchad?
Ooh, I feel like Nigel Pack we got to take.
See, this is another one. Like either one contributes to a team. It's like, do you want Tyrese Proctor and Norchad, or do you want Nigel Pack and Filipowski? Those are pretty easy.
Nigel Pack and Filipowski.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like that. Then what do you do with Carolina?
Nigel Pack. Well, we could just get Hubert as our coach.
Oh yeah, I've completely forgot about the coach side of this.
Yeah, I mean, for coach, I feel like, do we take Bennett?
Yeah, I think so. But does that mean we have to watch his offense, though?
No. Well, we're the GM, so we'll have a word with him, but he'll be suited up and like handsome. That's huge. And
right.
He can do X and O's.
What about like who are other guys in this league that are just fun or good that we feel we need? I feel like we're missing names. Like we should probably just go down the list and name some names.
I'm going to the team. Like there's no one on Pitt.
Judah Mintz.
JJ.
You got to take Mintz over Starling. You have to.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just where's Mintz? So what our backcourt is Nigel Pack and Mintz.
I mean,
that's a good backcourt.
I kind of like Nigel Pack, Mintz, Baycott, Filipowski, and then we need a wing and Tony Bennett as coach right now, unless we put Beekman in as third guard and get a different coach.
Okay, I'm going through this wing. Riley, as our ACC correspondent, who is that wing from Georgia Tech? Bouncy guy.
Miles Kelly. I love Miles Kelly. I definitely consider taking Miles Kelly.
I like him a lot, and I think he fit really good.
By default, I am not willing to pick a player I've never heard of.
Okay, that's understandable, but you should tap into him, G. He's really, really good and fun.
Okay. He's a 6'6" wing, good shooter, can do a little bit in the mid-range too. Like he was really their only productive player last year.
Yeah.
Who's back?
I think he's on NBA radars too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vicini tweeted a lot about him.
Who's back for Clemson? Don't they have a good wing?
Clemson has Chase Hunter, who's like a 6'4" combo guard. I'm trying to remember. Oh,
They have,
Joe Girard will be sort of wingy. He's kind of small though.
he's too
Um,
small. PJ Hall in the front
yeah,
court.
I love PJ Hall. PJ
I
Hall's
do like
awesome.
PJ Hall's good too.
Should we take a Duke wing instead of Flip and get a different big?
Take like what Duke wing are we taking?
I don't know. I'm stuck on this fifth guy. I need you to drive home the fifth guy. I like Flip, Baycott, Nigel, and Mintz. I like that as a core.
Okay, I'll take us home here. It should be Miles Kelly. I'll be honest with you.
I guess we can do Miles Kelly. I'll just caveat. I've never heard of the dude. I'd rather go Reese Beekman and then pick a different coach.
And then have Reese Beekman at the 3.
I think, but is there another decent coach in the ACC?
Yeah, if you don't take Bennett as your coach, I feel like there is one correct answer, and he comes from your conference. It's got to be Shrews.
Oh, I totally forgot about him.
I totally forgot about it. Wow, that's on me. Yeah. Oh, Shrews is our coach.
Also, I would much rather have Shrews than Bennett anyway.
Same. Yeah, Shrews is our coach.
Okay, so official submission of the team.
Yes.
Nigel Pack, Judah Mintz, Reese Beekman, Kyle Filipowski, Armando Baycott with Micah Shrewsbury coaching. That team's nasty.
That is a nasty team. Excellent work, fellas. Excellent work. I will say, when I was doing this exercise, much like y'all, it hit me there. This is a bad league again, and it made me sad. I had the exact same dilemma where I'm like, where are the wings? I need someone who's like 6'6", can guard somebody and hit a 3, and there are like no options to be found. Like, even on Duke and UNC, there's no NBA prototype wing. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Duke has plenty of NBA hopefuls with guys like Jared McCain, TJ Power. But I don't know if Power's going to be ready right away. And I think McCain's like 6'4". So that was my same dilemma. But I can get into my team if y'all want me to.
Please.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I agree that Mintz is a non-negotiable. I think Judah Mintz is really good. The fact that he was getting like 16, 17 a game with a washed up Boeheim as his coach, with like ton of inexperienced wings around him and like clogged paint and everything. And he can't even really shoot, and was scoring 16 a game. So yeah, I think Mintz could have a huge year. And I actually paired him with RJ Davis. I went with RJ over Baycott.
Wow.
I thought for sure you took Mondo.
I heavily considered it, but I think there's so many. It's kind of true of like the entire college hoops landscape these last couple of years. There's a lot of good big men nationally, and there's just more big men options in the ACC too.
I want to say this: I will be completely shocked unless you did the RJ Davis and Norchad flip for, I guess, Baycott and Pat. That's the only thing that would make sense to me here. Continue.
So I didn't go Norchad either. Yeah, so I got RJ, I got Judah Mintz, and I took PJ Hall as my big man. And that might be one of my bolder takes, but I think PJ Hall is like the best player that no one talks about, because
he is really good.
Because Clemson didn't make the tournament last year. I don't think they've made it since he's been there, but he's a good defender. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He's pretty much a 15-point per game scorer for his career. So I think Clemson should be really good this year, and maybe PJ will finally get the love that he deserves. So yeah, I took RJ, I took Judah as my backcourt, PJ Hall in the front court. Then for a Duke player, I avoided Flip. This was partially out of like my own pettiness. I just didn't want to take Proctor. I didn't want to take Flip for like the two best Duke players, because I don't know. I'm not going to contribute to the Duke #1 propaganda this year. That's just not what I'm going to do.
So much respect, Riley. So much respect for that.
And so I decided I took Jared McCain as my third guard, because I think he's an absolute bucket, and I think Duke's going to play him at the 3. I bet that's what they're going to do this year, and needed some shooting on the wing and a guy who can also make plays for others. So that left me with my 4th spot, where I got like my 1, 2, and 3. I got my 5. And this was when I ended up being like, okay, there's no one in this league who's 6'8", 6'9", and mobile and can hit threes or like make plays off the bounce. So I went with another wing, 6'6" guy who can shoot, and Damari Monsanto from Wake Forest. Y'all ever watch Monsanto? Because that dude is
I did not know he was still at Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely fun. Extremely fun.
Yeah. That was kind of what I went with that. I'm like, I need a dude who's going to show up to get buckets. He might not be able to guard anybody, but he's one of the best shooters in the country, both off the bounce and like just a spot up threat. So I had Monsanto as my 4. And for a coach, I initially went with Tony Bennett because I thought maybe he could cover up some of Monsanto's injury issues. And I thought having like a perimeter rotation of RJ Davis, Judah Mintz, and Jared McCain would be a little bit like the perimeter trio that Virginia had when they won the national championship, and he let those dudes cook out of ball screens. But now that we've hashed it out a little bit, I'm wondering if I need to go with Shrews, because I'm obviously not taking a Notre Dame player, or if I should just go with Coach L coming off of his first Final Four. I feel like Larinaga would make this team fun.
I respect it, but I also don't want to be cocky here, Riley. I think our team is washing your team.
So we got to dissect this with Riley's team a little bit. Respect the move of avoiding Duke. Totally respect it. With that said, your team is missing the 2 best players in this conference. That's crazy to me. Like one, I could get behind one maybe, but like no Baycott, no Flip is wild, right? Like,
yeah,
your front court's PJ Hall, and you could have had Flip or Baycott or both.
I didn't think this through that thoroughly. I was like, what fun ACC players who don't get enough love can I highlight? And how can I be a contrarian to the Duke hype and go with Jared McCain over Kyle Filipowski and justify it because Filipowski had double hip surgery? That's my reasoning behind that.
So no Miami representation at all is the other thing I would nitpick here, because if you're not going Jim, which I would probably go Jim out of that group, even though I love Shrew. But regardless, like I feel like one of Pack or Norchad or even Matthew Cleveland, like we talk about these wings are missing. I kind of thought about Harrison Ingram and Matthew Cleveland as options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Cleveland, I considered him too as like but I was thinking if you either have Baycott or PJ Hall as your 5, like Hall's a decent shooter, but he's probably going to make like 23s this upcoming season. He's not like, I wouldn't necessarily say he's a true stretch 5 or a stretch 4 or anything. So I wanted to put some better shooting in that front court. And I think Cleveland is such a wild card when it comes to shooting, because I think he shot like 36% this past year on a low volume, but his form is pretty wonky. And he's a guy who I think needs the ball in his hands a lot. Like he had a pretty high usage rate at Florida State. And I mean, I think I trust Larinaga to get the most out of him this year, but it might be an adjustment when you have a guy like Nigel Pack who needs the ball. I also considered Wooga Poplar. I thought that might be a little too rich to go with like a breakout candidate, but Wooga Poplar was a dude last year.
Great name too.
He was a Poplar pick.
Oh, Greg.
Sorry.
Come on.
Yesterday, I don't know if you have heard this yet or not, Riley, but we were doing teams that are under the radar that we think could make a Final Four, and I camped for Miami a little bit.
Yeah, I watched that little YouTube video last night. So I'm with you, man. I think Miami brings a lot back, but like I really think Wooga Poplar could be maybe not a first team all ACC guy, but a second team guy. I think because Norchad Omier and Nigel Pack get most of the headlines, but it wouldn't surprise me if Wooga's their second leading scorer after Nigel Pack.
Yeah. Not a lot would surprise me with that team. I like their top 4 a lot. The 3 guys I mentioned plus Poplar. And I trust Jim. I trust Life Wallet as well. Okay, so the big question here is not whose team wins between our team and Riley, because no offense, but our team the spread's probably 15.5. I still can't believe you took JV Ethan Happ over Kyle Filipowski and Armando Baycott in the front court. That's crazy. Now, the big question is who wins between our Big Ten team weeks ago and whatever ACC team between the 2 of us you want to pick. So our Big Ten team was Edey, Kamwa, Shannon, Tyson Walker, Boo Buie, with Chris Holtman coaching. Major mismatch on that side. No offense, Chris Holtman, fan of the show. And then do we want to take our team, Cart? Do we want to take our team versus our team and have Riley decide who wins?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, say that again. It was Tyson Walker, Boo Buie, Kamwa, Edey, and who was the
Terrence Shannon. Yeah. And then so our ACC team, again, Judah Mintz. Who am I missing? Judah Mintz, Nigel Pack,
Beekman,
Filipowski, Baycott with Shrew coaching. Who wins?
I kind of think the Big Ten spread is like -8.5.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that take. That's probably accurate.
I think Beekman compared to Terrence Shannon, I know I said he's not going to make an All-American team, but that's like not really a contest. Beekman has always sort of been a theoretical NBA guy more so than like an actual prospect. I like Bowie better than Judah Mintz, even though I love Mintz's game. I think Bowie's older and he can do a lot more with the ball in his hands. And like even like Nigel Pack at his best is a really fun player, but Tyson Walker is more consistent. He's done it. Oh wait, I was going to say he's done it on a bigger stage, but Nigel Pack just made a Final Four. But I just can't like that last Tyson Walker tournament game is still burned into my brain against Kansas State when he just went nuts. Like, and I don't know if Pack really had that. I could be wrong. I might be forgetting a game, but I don't know if Pack really had a moment like that in the tournament.
Pack had one game. I remember he went nuclear. I don't remember who it was, but he had like 6 threes. But outside of that, he was very inconsistent in the tournament, if I remember correctly. But I think you're right here, which feels a little weird to me because I don't view the Big Ten as like a great conference this year. Maybe that says more about the ACC than it does about the country.
I think it does. I mean, maybe -8.5 is too big of a spread because between Filipowski and Baycott, you got at least 2 guys who can get in the way of Zach Edey. And Filipowski, when he is healthy, is a really, really underrated defender. All the advanced metrics pointed to him being the best defender on Duke last year, even more so than Lively. Like he had a higher defensive win share, higher defensive box plus minus. I don't always know how to interpret that, but I'm citing it to back up my argument here. And
Not a math podcast, for the record.
And both Filipowski and Baycott will give you more scoring than Kamwa and can maybe, I don't know, get close to some of the scoring production Edey will give you. But yeah, I think the front court battle is a lot more interesting than the perimeter battle.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Fun topic. Appreciate that. Look forward to the year-long battle of who is more mid between the Big Ten and the ACC. That was a fun battle last year, and it got very loud and stinky at times. But here we are.
It's going to be special.
It's honestly, it's going to happen. The Big Ten's going to look dominant and great in the regular season, and then we're going to get to March, and the ACC is going to have 2 Final Four teams out of nowhere that are horrible. Like it's going to be like Syracuse and I don't know, Clemson in the Elite 8. And meanwhile, Purdue lost again to Robert Morris. I don't know. I'm getting grumpy about it. By the way, USA is down 7 to Germany with 13 minutes left in the FIBA semifinals. Shout out to the Wagner brothers. Riley, what's topic 2?